Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. We are in the kitchen, and grilling, of course, is one of America's favorite pastimes. More than 70% of Americans own a grill or a smoker, and as the weather gets warmer, that means you got to get grilling, that's for sure. But we also have to be careful and not fall into health mistakes. So we brought in an expert, Dr. Aimee Duffy. She's the author of the international bestseller, Normal Doesn't Have Side Effects. She joins us right now with her tips on how to stay healthy when grilling, and we appreciate you coming back on the show.
Awesome.
I love to grill. I have zero patience, and so I either have a meal that's undercooked or overcooked, but you're gonna tell us basically 5 ways to keep it healthy.
Yes.
Because grilling can be relatively healthy, correct?
Absolutely. Grilling is one of the best things you can do.
You know, how did grilling get started? I would imagine caveman found a fire and they threw meat on it, but contemporary-wise.
So grilling was actually invented just shortly after the domestication of fire 500,000 years ago. And what happened is back then, experts believed that the animals would freeze shortly after they were killed, and so the cavemen had to keep them close to the fire to keep it warm.
Okay.
And that was actually the first grilled meat.
Okay, and campfire stories started afterwards,
Right.
that sort of thing. You say that folks make 5 mistakes, and as you said 5, I go, I'm gonna name 15, but
Right.
You say there's 5 big ones that we need to avoid when we're actually out there grilling.
Yeah,
Let's go
these
through
are
those so we can learn a little bit. What's
The
our
health
first one?
mistake. So the first mistake to avoid is consuming overcooked meat. So a Harvard research study showed that consuming overcooked meat can increase your risk of high blood pressure by up to 15%. And it increases your risk of prostate cancer up to 60%. So don't eat that overcooked meat.
I don't. I order it. It seems like man, we like the raw meat. On the contrary to that, it can get too raw and not good for you. Or?
Well, then you're dealing with salmonella and things
Sure.
like that. So for a steak, you just want to cook the outside, make sure that's done. But you can do medium rare. It's good.
All right. Now, one of the things I think I overdo, but you say flipping is very important. Talk more about that.
Yeah, so this is your spatula. You want to keep your spatula happy and busy. And experts recommend that you flip your burgers every 1 minute. And what that does is it increases the temperature gradually, which decreases the formation of those cancer-causing chemicals called HCAs up to 100%.
And it doesn't do anything as far as slowing down the process of cooking?
No.
Not at all?
We want it to increase gradually over time.
And that goes with burgers as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, keep that in mind there too. All right, now everybody, when I go to the grill, I can tell how things went the last time based on the residue.
Yep.
There are very important things we have to remember when we're cleaning our grill.
Yeah. So you do want to get that residue off because some of those crunchy, crispy things have those carcinogens as well. However, when you're using those wire cooking brushes, those are cleaning brushes, those are really popular right now. The wire bristles can actually break off and get into your food, and it saves you going to the emergency room. There are over 1,600 emergency visits a month for people that are going because of injuries to their mouth and throat. So you want to get this tool. This is a wood grill cleaning tool. I got this right on Amazon. It'll scrape it off without anything falling off and getting into your food.
All right, and it obviously is just as easy. It seems like, it's just a matter of just pulling it off.
Yeah, it's a nice solid wood, piece of wood, so it's going to get it off nice.
It actually looks cool too, if you think about that.
It's prettier.
All right, the meat is obviously very, very important. Now, I've always heard if you want a really good steak, you find one that's nice and marbled and it looks delicious with all these colors. That's not always the case, if not the case at all.
That might make it taste a little bit better, but really consuming fat that's cooked at really high temperatures can trigger inflammation, and we all know inflammation is the enemy.
Indeed.
So you got to trim that fat, get a nice sharp knife and get rid of all this marbling, and you can't really get rid of the marbling in the middle, but any visible fat that you can trim off is better.
All right, you want to get it close to that, even though the fat, when I purchase this, they keep it, the fat on it, I guess, to preserve it. But so it's up to me to make sure that, I take
and anytime you can
get,
if you can go for the tenderloin, that's even better because there's, meat that's going to have less fat inside is going to be better for grilling.
Bone-in T-bone, is that a good idea? Is that same problem?
Same thing, as long as you can get the visible fat as much as you can removed.
Okay, that makes
less is better.
Alrighty. Now, the next thing is we say, well, we want a really great tasting steak, and that comes with marination.
Yep.
And I'd like to know how long I'm supposed to marinate and what actually is a good marinade.
Yeah. So the mistake is not marinating your meat long enough. A lot of people will just pull it out and put, some salt and pepper, their seasoning on it, and flop it on the grill, right? So the American Institute of Cancer recommends marinating at least 30 minutes. What that does is it creates a protective barrier around the meat that prevents those flames from causing those cancer-causing chemicals we talked about earlier. So the best marinade, one of the reasons that we chose this one is rosemary is where we're going to start. So put rosemary on your steak there.
Just literally just dropping it on here like that? Okay, cool, I can do that.
And then you've got some garlic. You can chop up your garlic.
For this purpose, we'll just
throw it on there. Okay. And then get some olive oil. The lighter the olive oil, the lower or the higher the smoke point. So, that extra virgin olive oil is great for your salads when you're not cooking.
Okay.
But when you're going to cook, you want to use some, a lighter cooking oil or even coconut oil is really good.
Do I want to massage it down or just pour it straight on?
Well, this is going to be a marinade, so you're going to put it in a bowl, right? You're going to put it in your container and cover it and put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes.
Okay, very good.
So you can just throw it on there. You can, put it in a bowl first. And then I chose apple cider vinegar. That gives you a little bit of that acidity that you need, but the apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, if you've ever heard of that, has some of those antioxidant properties as well.
Now, does it help break down? I've always heard vinegar kind of like makes
it break down the meat so it's more tender.
Yes, okay.
What's nice about that, you don't have to overcook your meat because it can be more tender.
All right, and then salt and pepper is still a good idea?
Salt and pepper, 1 for the seasoning, but 2 pepper, especially fresh ground black pepper, also has some of those antioxidants that will knock down those HCAs we were talking about, those cancer-causing chemicals. So.
All right, well, hopefully I'm better at the
grilling.
grill. Yeah, healthy grilling, I'm doing better. Folks want to get a copy of your book because it's very fascinating. So many different things you cover. Where can they go?
Amazon, it's right on Amazon, AimeeDuffyMD.com also.
All right, very good. Man, I love it coming here. Now I'm going to have a great healthy steak that we could be able to cook, and you can as well. Well, if you want to keep an idea of everything that we've been talking about, we have this interview. Will be on our website. Just go to DailyFlashShow.com. We got more Flash coming up right around the corner. If you go anywhere, you're going to miss out on that. We're grilling up some good stuff.